Davey, thank you very much for the opportunity. Greetings to PFP principals, business partners for PFP, the officials from the department, all distinguished guests, I greet you and thank you very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dungidi, principal of Kwadinabakubo High School, which is at Molweni, next to Hillcrest. If you're not familiar with that part of the world, I think Hillcrest is quite famous. The school has 1,210 kids and 39 members of staff. It's in a poor place, destitute learners we've got, and there are many challenges that we encounter on a daily basis. But what is interesting about it all, due to many interventions and support, particularly PFP, one is trying one's best together with the staff members to get the school to tick. Without a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to report just a few things that one has actually achieved as a member of this family, the PFP family. Before I get into that, may I just give you some background? I was introduced to PFP by a friend of mine who was enrolled in 2015. And he told me about many things that they got from the business partner that they had as a school. And that caused me to come and attended a presentation at Musgrave 2016. When I came, the main thing for me was to get the school infrastructure and the resources improved. You know, I was looking at it from a materialistic point of view. I was looking at Steve as a man that was going to ensure that we get many resources. I was looking at the funds for the school, the bank account for the school, changing the purse for the school, getting fatter and fatter. With workshops that we attended, Davey, and the engagements with Steve on a number of occasions, the attitude changed. I learned that one was on a very important journey. More importantly, a journey that was involving learning and changing one's attitude about what being a manager is, or managing a school is all about. And Steve, thank you very much for taking time to support our school. This is sabotage, eh? What? Okay. Taking time to support our school. The visits that you made at our school, the engagements with the learners, the engagements with the teachers and the other stakeholders, that was incredibly great for the school. Just a few things that I learned or that I benefited from the program. Steve offered a critique of how we operated, how I operated as a manager. You know, sometimes as principals, there are things that we just do and we take them for granted. We hardly get people that critique our performance, that cause you to think critically about what you do. So Steve could listen, objectively provide an assessment of whatever challenge that I am facing as a principal, and he could actually say, do calm down. When you encounter challenges of this nature, all that you need to do is to listen, observe, and then you make the correct judgment. And the other aspect that I wish to highlight, which was a plus or an achievement from this program, is that Steve was a source of inspiration. You know, sometimes as principals, you walk up, you go to school, you've got a program, and then when you stand up one day or at some other moment, your seat is no longer there. So that seat is usually quite hot. We use hot seats. Principals' seats are hot, and sometimes they get removed. So when you get back, there's nowhere to sit. So I could talk to him about challenges that I was encountering as a principal, and he would actually calm me down and cause me to think that it is possible that you can change things for the better. So thank you very much, Baba Steve, for that. The workshops that we attended, particularly time to think. At our school, we've got something that we do every Thursday now as a result of that workshop, where we create a space for learners and members of staff to observe a moment of silence, to keep quiet for 5 minutes every Thursday, and we cause everyone to reflect on the progress that we are making as a school. So that is a huge benefit on my part and my school. Well, we also shared issues around the programs that as the department have. I'm happy to say this in the presence of Babul Tul, the CES for FET TLS. Sometimes you get invited to meetings at the 11th hour, and all that you need to do is to jump. And sometimes there are programs within the department that will not know about, but you just have to comply. So Steve, amongst other things, assisted me to draw a program for the school that I ultimately had to present to my supervisor. So right now I'm able to say to my supervisor when he calls me at the 11th hour, but sir, this is my program. Can you be patient with me? I'll respond at a later stage. So thank you for that. Lastly, the journey has begun. We started the journey last year, Steve. You are aware of a very long list that we spoke about. The achievement for now will be in terms of personal growth, empowerment on my part, and some members of staff with whom I work very closely. What is left now is to ensure that from tomorrow we work on getting the resources for the school. That's a challenge. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, MD. Okay. I'm going to start off why I joined PFP. I joined PFP because it concentrates on the leadership of the school. And unless you've got good leadership in a business or a school, it won't work. It won't function properly. You can be supplied with computers, science laboratories, all different items, but if the school's not functioning properly, the computers will probably be stolen or locked up or not used. So that was one of the main reasons I joined it, because I felt it was an integral part of actually making a change. And to me, one of the biggest sins is to let children, innocent children, go to school and not get an education and have no hope for the future. And that to me is a very important aspect and one of the main reasons why I joined. My partnership, Du, he's a wonderful man. He really is. And quite a few of you have said heroic. And let me tell you, he's heroic. He's in a senior school. He's in a senior school, far different to junior schools. And the problems that he encounters are enormous. For example, his feeder schools, he gets children coming to for maths, going into grade 8. They can't add and subtract. The maths teacher there has 56, 58 kids in the class. What chance has she got of getting all those kids through there? They've got, as a result of this, what's happened is the department now is on his back. He's got to attend various things. They always sort of after him in a fairly disorganized manner, instead of actually dealing with the core, which makes it very difficult for him to operate. He's also been an astute man. He runs courses in the weekend as well, which takes his time. So to be quite honest, he has very, very little time. And that has been one of the main things that I've actually noticed regards that. He has no time whatsoever, which has made it very difficult for us to actually meet and do a lot of things that we'd wanted to achieve. To PFP, I'd strongly recommend that if you are going to partner, get someone to partner with a senior school, that you actually make sure that the feeder schools are run properly. Because as a principal of a senior school, if the kids that are coming to your school are lacking, let's say in maths, for example, and you've got big classes, you've got very little hope to actually change that. So I'd say that's quite an important thing to be aware of. What did I learn? I learned many things, but probably the most prevalent things that I learned were how caring headmasters and teachers are. They have very little time, and they spend their time looking after children in their spare time. You all need to be applauded for that. You really are a phenomenal bunch of people. You really, really are. And the other thing that really struck me was when going out to talk to people regards libraries or getting paint, or whether it be a chess club or a choir, the reception that I got from society as a whole is unbelievable. We've got a fantastic country and people are so willing to help. It really was actually quite mind-blowing, actually. And then what I hope to be implemented. And I'm going to put forward this term, do, okay? All right, there were two teams. There was the Bafana Diamonds, and then there were Bantu Shining Eyes. The Bafana Diamonds were the management and the coach and players were very well paid. The Shining Eyes were paid pittance. The Bafana Diamonds had fantastic grounds, lights to play on and practice on. And the Shining Eyes basically had a ground that had very little grass and no lights. The Diamonds had tremendous changing facilities and free clothing, and the Shining Eyes had none of that. The Diamonds practiced often, and the Shining Eyes didn't manage to do that because transport wasn't easily available, no lights, and a lot of the chaps did part-time jobs. From the above information, you could gather that the chances of the Diamonds actually being a better team were probably stronger with that information. However, the Bafana Diamonds, the management and coach were there for the money, the prestige, the cocktail parties, and had minimal relationship with the players' family, supporters, and community. The coach performed his job as per the contract, with little time for the players, forming no real relationship, expecting them to get on and sort out their own personal problems and motivate themselves. The players were sourced from other teams and were highly paid, which made them feel important and fanned their egos. As such, actually made them, brought about isolation. All about me, not a team. And there was a little team spirit. Their clothing was supplied free of charge, and they expected it. And the substitutes were not really recognized and only played when there was injury. The stadiums were empty, even though there was easy access and good transport for the supporters to attend the matches. The management blamed the coaches, or the coach, who blamed the players, who blamed the supporters and the community. The Ubuntu were sparkling eyes. The management was there for the love of the game and for the players. They had excellent relationships with the coach, team, substitutes, supporters and community. They encouraged good relationships and communication between everyone. Problems are heard, discussed and addressed for the good of all. The coach lived for the players and wanted a happy team that enjoys being together, playing together, caring for each other, motivating each other while playing a game they love. He spends time getting to know the players, makes them feel comfortable, and communication lines are wide open. This has resulted in him getting to know them, their families, supporters, and the community. The players are very appreciative of being a player, knowing that it is through the community and the supporters that they're given the opportunity to be able to play the game they love. The players support, motivate, and help each other in their daily lives, building strong, good, happy relationships. They train hard, and that's their way of thanking the community and making them proud of them. The substitutes are also treated no differently to the players. They are considered to be the team. They are recognized and played as often as possible and have strong relationships with everyone. When they come onto the field, they are appreciated, motivated and encouraged by the team, coach, management and supporters. The substitutes are humbled by this and reciprocate as well. The clothing is made by members of the community and is donated with pride. These members of the community are recognized and thanked. Supporters, the buses and taxis all charge special rates to get the supporters to the game. Otherwise, they walk. So is the commitment. Everyone at the game is recognized, seen, those who've contributed thanked, and all made to feel part of their team. The games are happy, joyous occasions with lots of sparkling eyes. That's what I want for our school.